Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out the GitGud Course. Instead of just understanding concepts, you'll learn how to implement them directly into your driving. What makes it effective is the approach and practical drills. Together, we're gonna focus on breaking down those complex concepts into small digestible bits that are simple to understand. Everything from the course was tested and refined during the years in coaching sessions, so what I ended up with was the ones that I saw were the most effective. Let's elevate your racing skills together. Now for the track guide. First of all, if you want to support the channel, giving it a like and a subscribe, it's a free way to do it and it will help me very much. Now going into the track guide itself, for turn 1, what I'm using as a reference for braking is the 50-meter board. I want to brake slightly past the 50, but generally braking around the 50-meter board is gonna be the sweet spot in terms of the speed and you're gonna carry into the entry. Now, slightly after the 50, I'm applying the brakes and I want to take it in second gear while aiming at the curb on the inside. So when downshifting to second here, notice that I'm still trail braking to the corner, and it's important that you don't hit it early into this section right here, because if you're gonna take an early apex, you will go wide on the exit, and your only correction that you're gonna save you is to drop the throttle. But if you're gonna do a drop in throttle, then we will lose a lot of time into the big straight. So our goal on the exit will be to be 0-100 on the throttle without too many corrections, so without dropping the throttle and doing like a jiggish line. We just want to keep it flat. But this is not going to be possible if you're going to apex early. Instead, notice where we hit this curve. Here, more later to the middle part of it, and at this point I'm already back on throttle. So hitting it to 0-100, at this point I'm at 100%. That's an important picture to have in mind. When you hit the curb, you should be already 100%. Now taking a bit of this curb and using all this track like that, so mounting the curb on the entry. That's gonna give you a good run into the next corner, because the earlier you're gonna be on throttle, the more time you're gonna gain into those big straights. Now moving into the next corner, my reference for braking is the 50-meter board again. So at the 50, right here, slightly past the 50 actually, I'm applying the brakes. Notice that there's a bit of space to the left side of the white line, so you can put your left tire on it. It doesn't seem much, but it's gonna help a lot when going into this corner. Now downshifting to third gear, and it's the same thing. You want to be early on throttle, but you don't want to hit this curb. You want to go around it. So in this instance, we don't want to mount the curb, we just want to apex around the white line, 100% throttle, and on the exit you should get very close to this wall right here. That's how you know you're carrying a lot of speed. Next corner is gonna be uphill braking zone, so it's gonna be a bit more difficult. I'm going very close to this black wall around here. Now I'm pointing the car straight because I want to brake in a straight line. You're gonna be most efficient whenever you're gonna brake in a straight line. If you have a bit of steering angle and then you brake, then you're not gonna be that efficient. So in order to do that, you won't take the line around here from the right side. It's gonna be longer and you're not gonna brake exactly straight. So we're gonna go like this, braking diagonally. I'm right now, notice my steering wheel is straight. So I'm pointing here to this tire power wall around the front of the car. I'm gonna brake in a straight line and then turn very closely to this wall here. That's key, because there's a lot of grip in this compression right here, and you have to be early on throttle. You have to take advantage of this change in grip levels. And this elevation change right here, the earlier you're gonna be on throttle, the better it's gonna be. In second gear, hitting 100%, you know you had a good run when on the exit you are close to the tire power wall right here. Now this section is all about minimum steering angle plus finding the shortest amount of distance. So in this case, you're not required to go all the way to the left side to open up. It will make your line longer. You will travel a longer distance if you position the car all the way to the left to open up this corner. Instead, I'm staying all the way to the right almost, because the car will be perfectly capable, if you get close to the wall here, to use all the track and still gain time. Same here, this corner right here. I'm going diagonally and keeping a shallow line. So I'm taking the shortest line possible into this straight while going flat out. If you will travel a longer distance, you will lose lap time. If you will force the steering wheel into those corners, you will scrub speed. And imagine that you're on a highway. You're gonna be the fastest whenever you have your steering wheel straight. If you add some steering angle to the left or to the right, then because of the friction force, you will lose speed. So what we're trying to do here is to maximize the speed by finding the least amount of steering angle that we're gonna use. Same here, getting close to the wall, then turning early into this corner. My goal is to get very close to this curb here on the left, barely touching it. And on the exit you can touch this one on the right, but generally you don't have to. Like if you take quite late apex, you won't be needed to arrive here. But if you touch it, that's not a biggie. Now going into the downhill part, super important, position the car all the way to the left because we're gonna brake diagonally towards the right here. So it's important to open up as much as we can right here, because right now whenever we're turning, notice that we're pointing the car here towards this part, towards this wall. Because near this wall we want to brake, we want to be very close to this part right here, like this is your first apex. Then the car is gonna go straight. So it's almost like from the top position, you imagine a straight line, the straightest line possible towards the downhill part. And notice that if you're gonna take this approach and you will take this angle, you almost go straight, you see, towards here. You almost imagine that you're going in a straight line from that previous apex point to this one. Obviously, you have to modulate the brakes and you have to use that green curb you just saw. But whenever you're arriving here, your goal will be to stay close to the wall here on the exit like this. I'm giving it a blimp of throttle. You will do it. If you feel the car is a bit slow here, you will push the throttle more. If the car is too quick, then you won't stay on the throttle, you will barely brake. And the last apex in the downhill part is this one here. You have to get close to this black wall and immediately put the throttle down. If you're gonna still brake, it's possible that you're gonna spin because you're going almost sideways, and with the trail brake it will over rotate the car. But putting the power down at this point, I'm 100%, and getting close to this wall right here, this was as close as you can get away with, is gonna make you be the fastest in the section. Now for the next one, I'm opening it up like this. I'm dropping the throttle, but not to zero. I'm keeping like 20. And the moment that I see this blue wall right here, I'm applying the brakes. I want to brake almost in a straight line, but notice that I'm going a bit to the right side. So I want to open up the left hander as much as I can. And in second gear, dropping the brakes altogether and pushing the throttle. This is gonna be quite difficult. My advice here is to brake less than you think. It's gonna be super easy to brake a bit more and scrub a lot of speed. So try to brake a bit less, and if needed, you're gonna do a small lift here like I did here. It's a very small lift. You're still gonna lose a bit, but it's not that much. Notice that I'm losing like 0.003, so it's not that much, but I made sure I carried a lot of speed while going downhill. Now for the next corner, high speed corner, again you're arriving here with your top speed basically. I'm pressing the brakes at the 100 meter board. So I'm looking at the 100 here. I'm braking slightly past it, quite hard initially, downshifting to third and using a bit this curb right here, pushing the throttle immediately and using the curb on the right side as well. So you can use those two curbs without losing time. Actually, if you're not using them, you will carry less speed and it's gonna be slower. Last corner, braking point is this stick or pole or electrical pole before the 50. So right now I'm applying the brakes. I'm braking around 80 and I'm downshifting to second. Don't go to first, it will over rotate the car. The trick is to hit this part of the curb towards the end of it like this and put the power down. It's gonna give you a nice good run and you're gonna carry a lot of speed. And in short, that's a track guide of Bathurst with the MX5. It's a very fun combo. I think you will enjoy it a lot. If you want to accelerate your learning, if you like my style, if you want to progress at a quicker pace, then check out my video course from the video description. A lot of students enrolled and the feedback is great until now. Everyone is improving, so I'm very happy with how it's turning out to be. And if you want to see a sample of the course, you can search on YouTube how to become an alien in sim racing. That's one of the lessons of the course. But anyways, thanks for sticking around and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye bye.